Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wicked Good Show covering Rick and Morty. I'm Brian, joined by Ben. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Ready to talk about another great episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I mean, this season is so good. We've talked about it before. We only get 5 episodes, but they are certainly making them count.
Yeah, 5 episodes, and there's no episode next week, so it's a 2 week until the next episode, and then I guess probably the week after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before we have to wait probably another 4 or 5 months for the rest of the season.
Brutal. But let's not get caught up on that right now. Let's look at the good that we have going for us right now, and that is this episode. Ben, what was the title?
The title was One Crew Over the Crewcoo's Morty.
Yeah, it felt like they had every intention of making this a pun and then just gave up.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of titles are just they're pretending to do a clever pun, and then they just throw something random in at the end.
Just throw one of the Rick or Morty's names in there.
Yep, it's a classic double cross.
Yeah, we saw a few of those in this episode. That is for sure. So, do you want to try to explain the plot of this episode?
Yeah, no, I watched it twice so that I could then the second time watch it from the start with the hindsight of knowing
right.
the entire reveals all the way through.
Yeah, that was smart.
And yeah, definitely helped me in understanding what the fuck was going on, because in the moment watching the first time it was very confusing in a lot of ways. But it does seem like the entire narrative of the show, basically everything that happened was completely manufactured by Rick as a way of incepting this feeling of contrivance into Morty so that he would give up on his dream of pitching a Netflix show about a heist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the whole point of this is to crush Morty's dreams, indirectly though. Because he's not really allowed to directly be a jerk to Morty anymore. We got those new rules.
We saw the kind of this reveal scene where Beth yells at Rick and says that if Morty's going to give up on his dreams, it has to be his own his own realization.
Dissolution, I think.
Disillusionment,
yeah. Yeah, which relatable. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, we would know nothing about giving up on our dreams.
No, never. Oh, man, but, yeah, so I guess the way I described it earlier to you before we got on the show was this is a real hate letter as opposed to a love letter to heist films.
Yeah, I mean, the entire premise is Rick trying to make Morty see that heist films are a stupid, contrived genre where there's no uniqueness at all between any of the films or any of the pieces of media, and they're all the exact same story, just rehashed over and over again. Which, I mean, fair.
Yeah, and I mean, they certainly have their place, and I certainly have enjoyed things like Community, the heist episode of that. But it definitely has this, oh, you thought that, yeah, this was happening? Well, actually, this is happening. And that's really cool the first time you see it, but then every heist movie has to do it, so it loses its cool factor for sure.
Yeah, and 60% is just gathering the crew. And that's the worst part.
Yeah. I loved all those scenes too. The play son of a bitch, I'm in. And then when Morty gets gassed, he's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm in." And he gets this shot, and he's like, "Wait, no, I'm out. Oh, I'm all the way out. Whose kidneys are these?" It's what? Oh man. So yeah, I guess. At which point did you realize that this entire episode was just going to be dedicated to shitting on this genre, and it wasn't going to go past that?
I think it was probably the reveal of Rick like where we found out that Rick had like tricked the crew into giving him the skull,
Mm.
and like he had like kind of seen this plan coming. Like that reveal was like the point where I was like, okay, so this is the episode. We're just gonna like have like stack upon stack of like contrived reveals on top of each other.
Mm. I like to when he has the entire convention on his side. He's like, tear it apart, and they rip that guy apart. He's like, oh my god, more. I did not know that was gonna happen.
That one's not on me.
Yeah, this is like Rick's an asshole, but in this instant, he was not trying to kill anybody.
Well, I mean, if we go with the ultimate conclusion, which is that this entire plot was just like a predetermined contrivance to try and like incept this feeling into Morty, he did allow this like AI to like take control and like annihilate entire planets.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Maybe he really just doesn't care. I mean, I guess that's been proven a few times over. Definitely at the end of this, it got to the point a little bit where I was like watching it and they were doing like the back and forth, and I was like, okay, well, obviously Rick's gonna come out on top because he's the main character of the show. So just I'm gonna not really pay that much attention until we get to that. You know, but yeah, it was just good. Elon Musk is a guest star this week.
Yeah, he plays a parody version of himself from a different universe named Elon Tusk.
Yeah, which low effort, but also hilarious that they actually got Elon Musk to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Elon is like known for kind of being this like memer on the internet or whatever, and he's like I'm pretty sure he's previously been like talked about the show and has said that
he was on PewDiePie's show, or it was on Meme Review with Justin Roiland. Must have been
that's
when they
true,
were recording this episode.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense now that you remind me of that. It's something that happened.
So, yeah, we didn't know then, but Elon, he's had a big week. He's released an absurd truck concept onto the world, and he's been in Rick and Morty. So he's 100% just doing everything for the memes at this point.
Yeah, I think that you probably could have said that a while ago, but yeah, no, definitely.
I can't defend him calling the British diver a pedophile for the memes, but like most of the other stuff he does is pretty for the memes.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's pretty brilliant marketing in the year 2019, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's not a genius for nothing, Ben.
Yeah,
it's not for his truck designs, that's for sure.
I mean it. Everyone talked about it. Because
that's true. That's true.
Like
fair enough.
People were speculating that the failure, the Cybertruck reveal with the windows was like planned in order to create like a PR storm or whatever.
Man, I hope so. Honestly, that was also one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Not to get too off topic, but holy shit.
Yeah, I mean I don't think it's that off topic. Right? We're talking about.
It's in the realm.
An actor in this episode. His current dealings.
Yeah, he certainly was a good sport about all this. And we got the return of Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yeah, Professor Poopy Butthole.
Yes, he's moving up in the world. Well, for a little bit. Yeah. Apparently, he's really good at karate. I don't think we knew that before.
Yeah, he's just like all kinds of martial arts skills, and apparently, so are all college students who have an interest in African American female art or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was women's studies, maybe.
Yeah, well, women's
They're
studies,
talking about Maya Angelou, and then
we're talking about Maya Angelou, but I didn't know what the specific. Yeah.
I love the end. He's talking about how perhaps there's a correlation between the two. He's like, wow, that's something I would have loved to cover in my class.
Just another example another example of just Rick's flagrant disregard for other people.
Yeah, true. He just needed this to ruin Morty's attempt to make a heist movie, and he also ruined this career. Got an entire planet destroyed.
Yeah, in horrific fashion.
Yeah. Also, very little Summer in this episode. Disappointing.
Yeah.
No Jerry at all.
I mean, didn't miss Jerry, but I mean, the summer was like the inciting. Like, summer is basically like 3 lines in the episode was the inciting incident in retrospect, right?
Yeah,
Because
in retrospect.
She was the one who told Rick, "Hey, 5 of my friends got Netflix deals. It's a very achievable goal."
Hilarious, but unfortunate. Um,
Yeah, there was a lot of shots at like different media services. There's a shot at Showtime being a ripoff of HBO.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like there's no holds barred at this point, right?
Listen, we have like what, a 75 episode deal on Cartoon Network now.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the rate they make this, that will be solid like 27 years of steady work. So at this point, they can take shots at whoever they want.
Yeah.
They got
can
job
have
security.
They can have Elon on as a guest star and then just like rip on him the entire time.
Well, I do think that's one of the nice things about having this much job security is like, obviously, Rick and Morty was always like the kind of show to take risks and write weird storylines, but they truly have the freedom to get as weird as they want.
Yeah, I think that the like apex of that was like the Pickle Rick episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so much.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess what's the moral of this episode, if there is one, other than like heist movies are like contrived bullshit?
I'm not sure there's one past that.
I mean, is it just like a reaffirmation that like Rick's like prime directive is just to like go on adventures with Morty?
That could very well be. I actually want to give a shout out to Jessica Gao, the writer of the episode of Pickle Rick. I believe she's going to be the head writer for the She-Hulk show on Disney Plus. So
good for her.
big moves for real.
Another somebody else that Rick and Morty lost to the superhero franchise.
Yeah, Dan Harmon is going to have a whole episode about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we were saying like who left Rick and Morty to go work writing for like Mission Impossible series or whatever.
Yeah, what was the new Ocean's 8? Is there anyone who wrote for Rick and Morty and left to go write on Ocean's 8? Yeah,
I gotta get the IMDb like people on it here.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to make a movie and the studio picked Ocean's 8 over him. And he's just really salty. I don't know, but it does seem like a pretty pointed response to this type of movie. I did see a funny thing. The writer of this episode, she like had a screenshot of her name as written by on Twitter, and she's like, "Twitter, can I be verified now?" Which I think is a good move. I mean, I hope she gets verified after that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of people who are verified on Twitter that are like way less notable.
Yeah, she has a job where she literally just wrote a half-an-hour episode just shitting on heist movies the whole time, and that deserves respect, I think. The very least, a verification on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I will say personally, I never really was a big fan of the heist genre or like the Ocean's 11 or like the Mission Impossible or any of these like things. I think the closest I got like I watched like a couple of seasons of Leverage when that was on TV.
Hmm.
That's probably the closest I ever got to being into the genre. And even
Right.
like when I was watching that show, I was like able to acknowledge, like, I have a self-acknowledging moment that the show is not good.
I think I, as a freshman or sophomore in high school, I saw Ocean's 12, and I was like, "Whoa, that was amazing!" And then I watched the other Oceans. I was like, "Oh, there's all this is the same movie. All right, that's that, I guess." And then this episode is like, "Yeah, that's all it is," which is fun. I think the best part of these types of movies is the colorful cast of characters that they always have to have, which I think this episode poked fun at that. It's like, yeah, we'll get someone who is like a forger in a volcano and someone with robotic hands, and it's like all these obscure things. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, of like the 7 or 8 like wacky characters that we saw, who is your favorite?
I did like the guy who worked in the volcano just because he's like, it's going to be a tough job. And he's like, I work in a volcano. Do you think I've ever refused a job? That line really cracked me up. How about you?
I liked the what's his name? The ventriloquist guy.
Oh my God. That's so ridiculous.
I like the line where he talked about astronomy, and he was like, "What, you don't have a career
Like
shooting people
projecting your
with
voice. Yeah.
projecting your voice through arrows without picking up a bit of astronomy."
Yeah, it makes no sense, but it's hilarious. Oh, I also like the shapeshifter just because they animated him really creepy.
Yeah, no, the like 10 seconds that he was on screen where
Mm,
he was like the janitor or whatever, and then he shapeshifted into the cop.
mm, for no reason.
Uh, yeah, and the double microwave guy as well,
Hmm.
whose entire purpose was just to like be a microwave and then explode.
Yep. It's just like a lot, man. I don't know. But yeah, I think this season has been super entertaining so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that each episode has been like marginally better than the last one, so I'm excited
Mm.
to see where we go from here. Did we get a preview for the next episode? I don't remember seeing one.
I didn't see one. Granted, I watch it on
Okay.
my phone, so it
Yeah,
might not like include the previews.
yeah, I don't remember seeing one on TV when I watched it last night, and I don't
Mm,
remember seeing one when I watched it online earlier today.
mm,
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's no preview. And in fact, I think it's probably better that there's no preview
mm.
because I thought one of the best lines of the episode was when they walked into the con and they're like, "All right, what's the job?" And Rick was like, "All right, that's it.
Yeah,
That was the job."
so good.
And that was like kind of spoiled by the preview a little bit. So.
Yeah, see, I was lucky by watching it on. Well, I bought the season on iTunes, so I just watch it on my phone. It doesn't include any previews.
Why don't you just watch it for free? Or actually, can you watch it for free without a TV subscription? It might be
I don't
something
know.
that
I
you
know the
think
first
about.
episode you can online on Adult
Uh,
Swim, and I wasn't sure if that was like a one-time thing. So I was
yeah,
like, I'll just buy the season
no,
pass
I,
on
th- I think
iTunes.
I think you do need to hook up your TV subscription now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't have one, but I also don't mind paying for the season because like I feel like I'm supporting the show in a
Oh,
small
yeah,
way.
for sure. I mean, you know, I personally didn't have Cartoon Network
Mm.
for season 3, so I definitely pirated all of those episodes. I think the statute of limitations on the piracy is passed now, so I'm not incriminating myself.
Right, you wouldn't download a car, Ben, would you?
I would not download the car. I think
Yeah.
probably a pretty shoddily built car.
Mm. You use a lot of bandwidth too.
Yeah, it seems like you'd probably pay more for the. And you probably have to have a lot of computing power
Mm.
committed to that for a while too. Like you wouldn't be able to like game or like
Yeah,
watch live streams or anything like that for.
it just wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, and you have to have a car. Like that's the whole point
Yeah,
after.
right. What are you gonna do with it? It's in your room because you downloaded it into your room. You're
Yeah,
not gonna leave your computer outside. Now you got a
yeah.
car in your room. A mess. All right, man.
You need to
Anything
download
else?
the insurance and download the
Yeah.
gas.
Oh man. Anything else you want to add to this before we sign off for this episode?
Yeah, I'm very excited for the next 2 episodes. I'm sad that we have to wait an extra week, and I'm sad that we only get 2 more episodes before
I
having
know,
to wait
right?
forever. It feels like the season just started because it did.
It sucks. It always sucks when shows like this come back for a short time. But
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
I would rather wait and have it be higher quality than have them just like pump out like 30 garbage episodes. Though.
No, definitely, definitely. You want the show to maintain the quality that it's at, for sure. So Ben, where can they find you online if they want to give you a follow?
You can follow me on Twitter mostly at Ben Sharon, BNSHARRON. I haven't tweeted much recently. There's not really anything going on worth tweeting about. Maybe
Right.
I usually when I tweet heavily, it's about reality TV, but there's not really a lot that I want to be talking about with reality TV right now. Not in the immediate
No.
sense.
No, definitely not. Oh man, a few people might get what we're talking about. See how big our crossover is. But anyways, you guys can follow the channel on Twitter at WG Everything, on Instagram at Wicked Everything, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Everything, and Ben and I are formulating plans to bring our Twitch presence back up to speed. We're really in the very beginning stages of that, but yeah. And then I don't know if you missed it on the last episode of Wicked Good Show when we reviewed Ford versus Ferrari. You should check that out. And I also announced that in the future we're going to be doing a show talking about reality TV.
Yep, that's also in the planning stages. To circle back around to me referencing and bringing up reality TV. It's going to be mostly focused on like the 2000s decade trash reality.
Yes.
And kind of just like reality TV from like a historical perspective, but also just like making fun of it and talking about our experiences growing up with it.
It's going to be great. There are a lot of shows out there that I feel like people watched and like don't necessarily think about, but I'm hoping that this show will be like, oh my God, I remember watching that type of a show, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God, that wasn't just a fever dream.
Some of these shows seem like a fever dream, for sure.
Yep.
But we'll see. That's going to be coming out in the new year, probably at some point. With the holidays and stuff, we're pretty busy over here. But we also have Mandalorian coverage. I think we're going to be covering Frozen 2 as well. So stay tuned for that on Wicked Good Show. And of course, we have the Sunny Down Review, and we have a lot of stuff going on the main channel at youtube.com/WickedGoodEverything. So thank you guys and girls so much for watching. All right, bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.